Good afternoon and welcome to the latest issue of Print21, the weekly video news bulletin for the ANZ print industry. This issue is sponsored by Ball & Doggett, Australia's largest supplier of printable materials and consumables. The post-lockdown print market recovery currently underway has seen the country's biggest print business, IVE, achieve revenue up by 9% in the first 4 months of the new financial year. The company says it expects the surge in print demand will continue into the next year, saying strong revenue momentum continues and we remain optimistic this will be the case over the remainder of FY22, driven by post-lockdown economic recovery. For the 4 months of the year, EBITDA is up by a third, NPAT up by 3/4 compared to the same period last year, which the company says is demonstrating heightened operating leverage across the business, as highlighted in the FY21 full year results. The $660 million marketing services business is among those benefiting from a move to onshore print that had previously been bought overseas, with shipping issues forcing print buyers to come back to Australia for their print to guarantee supply. However, the same shipping issues are having what the company IVE describes as a dual effect, as they're also sending paper prices upwards, with IVE chairman Jeff Selig saying prices of paper have moved to the top end of their long-term historical range, driven by tightening supply, increases in pulp costs and well-documented increases in global energy prices and shipping costs. Our expectation is this price pressure will continue throughout 2022. Price movements, IVE says, are primarily impacting its web offset printing division, but it says in response it's quickly moved to shore up supply and says it's prudent to increase its paper inventory holdings, as it foreshadowed in its full year results. The world's biggest offset press manufacturer, Heidelberg, has committed to becoming climate neutral by the end of the decade, and to do that without buying offsetting certifications a decade later, 2040. It will engage in a clearly defined pathway to carbon neutrality between now and 2030, with a focus on increasing energy efficiency and at all of its production and distribution sites, supplying those sites with green energy, which it says will lead to a clear reduction in CO2 emissions. The company will use emission certificates to offset the residual, what it says are unavoidable emissions. However, it does say that it aims to achieve complete climate neutrality at its sites without the use of emission certificates by 2040 at the latest. Heidelberg been on the sustainability road for some time, now ramping up with clear targets, attempting to be green. It says it's the first folding manufacturer to make all its machines which come from its Ludwigsburg plant CO2 neutral, and says that compared to 1990, energy requirements for a printed sheet from most modern presses are down by 40%. Meanwhile, rival Komori is back in the black, as orders surge from printers around the world looking to upgrade their kit after 2 years of largely treading water. In installation news, Generate Printing up there in Newcastle says it will achieve dramatically increased speed and turnaround time, better colour consistency and registration with its new Konica Minolta Acurio Press C4080. Visual Connections, the association representing suppliers to the print, sign, display and visual communications industries, has a new president, a new board member, and has clearly outlined a strategy for the future. John Wall, Managing Director of Roland DG, is the new president. Ben Eaton, CEO at Starleton, is the new vice president. And Peter Wagner, Managing Director of Europoles and All Flag Signs over there in West Australia, is the new board member. Illawarra Print and Signage has become an unlikely TikTok sensation, with owners, husband and wife duo Kylie and Simon Morrison receiving millions of views on the social media platform for their videos of paper being cut. The videos have built up a cult following for being oddly satisfying and feature aspects of printing production, including paper being printed, cut, folded, pressed, transformed. It currently has 150,000 likes and 20 million views combined. Use all the technology we can get to promote the industry. That's it for this week's issue of Print21. Thanks to our sponsor Ball & Doggett, Australia's largest supplier of printable materials and consumables. This is me, Wayne Robinson, editor of Print21, signing off for another week.